Good day, everyone. So here we have a new lesson for today, which is tone and mood. So these two factors are always part of any literary text. So it may be a poem, a short story, an essay, a novel, an epic, and so on and so forth. As long as they are literary texts, there will always be a tone and mood. So first of all is tone. So tone is the author's attitude towards the subject, the characters, or the readers, which is revealed by the author's diction. So when we say tone, it does not mean the things or what or how you pronounce a word, a thing, or a sentence. In literature or in a literary text, when we say tone, it is the author's attitude towards the subject, the characters, or the readers. So what do we mean by the author's attitude towards those targets? So when we say the author's attitude, it means what is the author's emotion towards those subjects. So what does the author feel when he is talking about the subject? What does he feel when he is talking about the characters? Or what does he feel when he is talking about the readers? So it can be revealed based on the author's words or the author's diction. We will be able to identify the tone or the author's attitude based on his words, his chosen words in a literary piece. So some examples that some words may have a similar or synonymous meaning, but they may be different in some way. For example, angry and upset. Both are negative emotions, but when we say angry, it is with hatred. When we say more or less upset, you are sad. Similar with silly and giddy. When we say silliness, you are acting in a childish behavior. While being giddy, you are being happy. But you can be happy without looking silly. So here are more examples of tone words. Words that can help us identify the author's attitude or the author's emotions towards the subject, the characters, or the readers. So we have angry, sad, cold, urgent, joking, detached, happy, hollow, joyful, allusive, sweet, vexed, and so on and so forth. So another example, in order for us to identify or to be much more clear on what is tone, is we have "This is Just to Say" by William Carlos Williams. So the poem is, "I have eaten the plums that were in the icebox, and which you were probably saving for breakfast. Forgive me, they were delicious, so sweet and so cold." Now, what do you think is the author's tone or his attitude while writing this literary piece? Do you think he is really asking for forgiveness, or are there any other emotion based on the poem? So we'll find out. We have here an explanation. So the author's emotion or attitude is that he or she is not really asking for forgiveness. He is somewhat sarcastic, or to be precise, he or she is insincere. Why? Because he is saying sorry in the word "forgive me." The insincerity of his apology is evident as he waits to ask for forgiveness until the last stanza of the poem. Additionally, he goes to explain how good the plums that she was saving for breakfast. They were so delicious, so sweet and cold. The fact that he rubs in how good the plums were shows he wasn't sincere in his apology. So he is asking for an apology in the last stanza. But but and why was he asking for an apology? Because he ate the plums that in the icebox. But even though he already knew here's the catch. He already knew that those plums, those items, were being saved for breakfast. Yet he still, or she still, the author still ate those plums. Therefore, he is asking forgiveness, but he is insincere, because if he really wanted to ask forgiveness, then he would not do it in the first place, because he knows, or the author knows, that they were being saved for a later date. So that is the author's tone. So he is insincere based on analyzing the poem. Next. Next is mood. So what do you mean by mood? Is it your emotions? You're moody? Are you angry, sad, and so on and so forth? So that is connected. So when we say mood in a literary piece, it is the feeling a piece of literature arouses in the reader. It is the atmosphere created by the author. Some literature makes us feel joyful, solemn, angry, etc. Mood is often created by the setting. So when we say mood, if the tone or the author's tone is the attitude, the emotion of the author while writing the literary piece, when he is thinking about the subject, the characters, and the readers, the mood this time is what does the literary piece gives to the reader. Example, if you read the Ibong Adarna, what will you feel? What does the literary piece gives you? What kind of emotion are you when you read the literary text Ibong Adarna? Are you feeling angry? Are you feeling sad? Are you feeling happy? And so on and so forth. For another example, if you're if you're watching, let's say reading. Let's say you're reading what is no, not this a good. Let's say you're reading a funny story or a comics. So, when you're reading the comics, what do you feel? Are you happy? Are you sad? So, whatever emotion you feel by reading the text is the mood of a literary piece. So, basically, the emotion you get is the mood of the literary piece. And these emotions can be given to you by the settings of a literary piece. So, example. Here's an activity. So, during the whole of a dull, dark, and soundless day, in the autumn of the year, when the clouds hung oppressively low in the heavens, I had been passing along on horseback through a singularly dreary tract of country, and at length found myself, as the shades of the evening drew on, within view of the melancholy house of Usher. I reined my horse to the precipitous brink of a black and lurid tarn, with the lay in unruffled luster by the dwelling, vacant and eye-like windows. So what do you think is the mood here in the text? So when you read this text, what do you feel? What emotion do you get? So, depressing. So, no need to read the explanation. Let's just go back to the text. So, in the first sentence, we can already see that it is depressing. We have there dull or boring, dark, soundless. Try this, dull, dark, and soundless day. Just try to imagine. Close your eyes. Try to imagine. Imagine a very dark day. Rain clouds. Dark rain clouds. And all day long, you had nothing to do. So, very boring day. Very dull day. And soundless day. You are alone. So, in that situation, are you going to be happy? Or are you going to be joyful? If you're alone, you're surrounded, there is no sound at all. There is only complete silence. You haven't done anything at all. You have no laptop. You have no cell phones. You have no books to do at all. You're just there. So very depressing. And those are just by the settings. So another one. So the deep green pool of the Salinas River was still in the late afternoon. Already the sun had left the valley to go climbing up the slopes of the Gabillan Mountains, and the hilltops were rosy in the sun. But the pool among the mottled sycamores, a pleasant shade, had fallen. So you try. So in the comments, so write down what do you think is the mood of this text, of this short text. But so basically that is our lesson for today. So tone and mood. Again, tone is what is the expression, emotion of the writer while writing the literary piece when he is thinking about the author, the reader, the subject, and the characters. Well, mood is after you read the story, what kind of emotion do you feel? So that is tone and mood in a literary piece. So I hope you understand our lesson for today. If you have any questions, so feel free to ask. So that is all. Thank you and goodbye.